We're live. I am Rich Lieberman. And by the way, when you're getting through this multiple cold from hell and your voice sounds like crap, and yet you continue to try and do everything with the drugs and the tea and the this and the that and the water. And I got so much water in me, I feel like I'm part of the Pacific Ocean. I might as well be the Mariana Trench because I've got so much crap inside of me and I look like shit. Now, look, I'm not saying I'm George Clooney or, the late, great, Bobby Kennedy or was it JFK Jr. before he went into that airplane with his girlfriend, or whatever. Which, by the way, what the hell was he doing in an airplane that they begged him not to take? They all but said, "Look, you're a Kennedy. Don't get into a goddamn small airplane. You might crash." He crashed. Anyway, I'm going off subject here. So, look, I'm going to give you some content right now. I'm going to give you some material. I'm going to get quasi loud and not be visual and dramatic so I can elicit clickbait and do all this stuff to generate hits, which does not generate cash for me. I am only trying to survive. It's like my sex life. Okay. I try. Look, I've given you material, I've given you opinion, scoops. There's so much on the front burner, the back burner that I'm going to give you. Still, I'm going to give you. And I'm not begging for money. I'm asking you, no, wait a minute. I'm demanding you give me money because for the past 2 months, I have fought off colds, thought I was better. I think I have allergies, but I don't know yet. In any event, excuse me, water break, as I knock down my prized light here. One sec. It's water. Working hard to give you, this is my Rush Limbaugh, working hard to give you quality content and not make jokes about Philadelphia, or as my friend Snardley would call it, Filthydelphia. All right, so back to the main subject matters. Look, folks, I am coming up to the end of the month in which I'll make a grand announcement, but I'm giving you the early dose. I can't survive on the present business model, which is a way of saying in, clear present tense, $15 a year. That's $1 a month plus $3 so I can buy some coffee at Starbucks or Hudson Bay Cafe, or I can impress this girl that I met outside of San Quentin. Now, I wasn't in San Quentin and I didn't meet her at San Quentin. I was having to go to this federal office near San Quentin and I had to drop off some documents that you couldn't fax, but I don't have a fax machine anyway. I had to hand deliver. And this woman was coming out of this other office near San Quentin, right near the bridge there, you know. And there I was, and she was so nice to me. Said, "Are you okay? Do you need assistance getting in your car?" Which it's always a good sign when you're answering questions. That sounds like an old Pinto of mine trying to start up the old Pinto. By the way, you name it after a bean, no wonder it explodes. Anyway, that's an old joke. Pinto bean, get it? Okay. So I met this woman and she was really cool and let me get into the car, and I was kind of having a difficult time. It was very awkward. Anyway, so I met her and she actually had full vision. There was no glasses. She didn't have those eye problems, and she was looking at me, and I thought it was perhaps a setup. But in any event, I'm looking down at myself and trying to think. Oh, yeah. So I have opinions on everything. Now, for example, this is what drives me fucking nuts. I use this swear word, but it's apropos here. Why does every newscast in this city and every newscast in this nation and beyond they always give you the proverbial nonstop AAA expects 20 million drivers this Memorial Day weekend. Well, no shit. It's a 3-day weekend. But why do we have to hear it every 10 minutes? AAA expects 20 million riders. Great. And then the subsequent morons who say, you know what? It's a 3-day weekend. I think I'm going to get in the car and go put some gas in it because I know gas prices are real cheap nowadays. And I'm going to get out onto the to the roads because I know there'll be no highway patrol, and I know traffic should be really, really light. What is the deal with people who have to get into their cars and get on the road? It's a 3-day weekend. You couldn't make it you couldn't take a day off next week when traffic should and probably would be a lot lighter, when you're not going to pay $5 million to get a campsite at Yosemite as if you needed that. Camping. Oh, it's so fantastic. Honey, there's a bear in the woods. And let's go to Yosemite because I guess nobody will be at Yosemite on a 3-day weekend, Memorial Day. Honey, it's a good deal. We could park the car and camp, and it's only like $1,000. $1,000 to camp at Yosemite. Next week, it's probably going to be like 50 cents. But oh no, let's go on a 3-day weekend. Assignment Ed here. I'm losing it. Let's send a crew out to the airport and ask people why they're flying. I'm sure the airline rates are really, really cheap this time of the year. You know, it's the same idiots, it's the same mentality when there's a heat wave in Walnut Creek or Livermore. They send a camera crew to Livermore, and they always ask the roofer when it's 112 degrees, hey, your roofer, it's hot outside. Yeah, it is outside. It's hot. How do you feel up there? Oh, I feel great. How do you think he feels? He's a roofer. It's Livermore. Yet they still send the reporter out to Livermore or Walnut Creek because you got to have the good demographics. You couldn't wait an extra day. You couldn't leave on Saturday morning. You have to leave at Friday, 5 o'clock rush hour, thereby making your miserable plan even more miserable. And yet the TV crews, ooh, let's send a reporter to the airport too and ask the woman bumbling and fumbling her way through her purse why she couldn't wait to fly out, oh, I don't know, Saturday morning when the rates would have been cheaper. But no, I've got to fly out on Memorial Day weekend. Folks, my voice sounds awful and it's getting better, but just as I think it's going to feel better and get better, I have to take the water, and now all of a sudden I sound like Burt Lancaster. Remember Burt Lancaster, the great movie star, the American actor, the man who would talk like this, say, Jimmy, I'm going to meet my future bride, and I want some breakfast. I don't want mere coffee. I want breakfast. I want scrambled eggs and some bacon and some delicious hash browns, butter on my toast, jam and jelly everywhere it goes, coffee with a little bit of cream and some hors d'oeuvre, sweet saccharin. But above everything else, I want breakfast. It's my Burt Lancaster. When you get like this, and when you sip the water, which is delicious, by the way, especially when your voice is getting water tastes great. It makes the voice feel a lot better too. And see, I've got this part, the nose. Anyway, where was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Memorial Day weekend. They do this every holiday weekend. 4th of July this year happens to be on a Friday. On Thursday afternoon, the 3rd of July, there's going to be some schmuck at that gas station in either Emeryville or Berkeley or near Walnut Creek, which is better demographics. Hey, reporter, to consumer putting gas in the car. Gas is now, I'm just going to predict, $7 for a gallon of gas. Hey, what does it feel like gassing up that car? Well, I'm just doing it. Couldn't wait a couple of weeks, when it probably would have been about 25, 50% lighter. People ever get it? And the assignment editors who send out reporters to gas stations and talk about these are all predictable things. I mentioned the fact of talking to people and telling us that there's going to be 20 million drivers on Memorial Day weekend. And there's always going to be the schmucks who send out the reporters to ask people gassing up their cars, couldn't you have waited? Well, they don't ask that question. They ask, hey, how you feeling about paying the gas? Well, I feel hunky-dorky. I'm just, excuse me, folks. I'm just going to wait. But I love it being at this gas station, filling up my car and my gas, and I don't mind paying $7 a gallon because I couldn't wait either before the 4th of July 3-day weekend or after, when it probably would have been like $5.50 or $6 a gallon. I have to leave on a holiday weekend. It's got to be Friday, and it's got to be right on the time and date that everybody gets in their car or goes to the airport and takes a trip to somewhere that they don't really need to be taking a trip to. Now, look, if you've got a family, if you're going to go to Disneyland, isn't that good planning? Let's go to Disneyland on a holiday weekend, and not just any holiday weekend, the 4th of July weekend. I'm sure there'll be hardly anybody there at the park on a Friday, on a Saturday when it's the 4th of July on the Friday. I'm sure it'll be real cheap too. Like, honey, let's go on that ride and let's go grab a hamburger and buy 2 little hamburgers for the kids. Honey, you total it up. What is it going to cost us? $14,347, Ernie. Cue to Burt Lancaster. We only had a trip to the Magic Mountain or whatever. It's a small world, and 2 little hamburgers and 2 regular hamburgers and a Mickey Mouse t-shirt. You're telling us it's going to cost $14,000? Well, sir, I'm Maggie, and I work at Disneyland. And it's not just that. We're going to give you a free trip to the Mr. Lincoln who sings to you. And it's a small world, yes, with the tax and all that. It's going to cost you $14,000. But hey, it's the Independence Day. Aren't you happy? I cannot believe people act so dumb. They can't wait a day to travel a little later or early. It's always they have to fly out or drive out or do whatever the hell they do. It's the assignment editor who sends reporters to airports asking people innocuous, dumb questions about driving, or in this case, flying on the day of the holiday or who they're going to go see. Never asking, God forbid, pointed questions like, couldn't you have waited? Or did you make reservations a year ago when, okay, it would have been acceptable to fly out on a Friday before a holiday weekend? Could you have waited, oh, I don't know, 2 days, perhaps fly the Saturday morning since the weekend holiday started on a Friday when it would have been significantly cheaper to leave the premises on a Saturday morning? I can't believe this is still being executed. Again, folks, I'm just trying to be reasonable. I'm just trying to do the best Burt Lancaster impression. I want breakfast. Get me 4-9 cleared. I need 4-9. I cannot have life without 4-9. No joke. You know, if I was James Carville and I had to react to all this doozy of news about these stupid people traveling a day too early or a day too late in this case, it reminds me of the time growing up as a political strategist. Now, I'm from Louisiana, and nobody questions me or lets me say what I want to say without any kind of dumb question. Like now, I'm telling these damn Democrats to quit acting like Democrats and begin to start acting like Republicans and let all this other shit go by, because right now, my party's being crucified. And I keep telling people, get off your ass. That Donald Trump knows what the hell he's doing. He don't give a damn about all this small shit. There's a lot going on in the world, and Democrats act like a bunch of retards. I'm from Louisiana, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not some idiot assignment editor sending reporters out to hot places and asking goddamn roofers if it's hot. This is war out there. This is a goddamn war. I can't believe I sat up this morning in bed and I was talking to my wife, Mary Madeline. So, Mary, what is it about this war now? What kind of goddamn world are we in? Everybody's getting kind of crazy and acting kind of retarded. And I'm sick of this shit. I'm you, Brenna. Please don't smoke. Hello there. This is Richard Nixon from heaven. When I was president of the United States, they used to ask me, Dick Nixon, we're not going to kick you around anymore, but we reserve the right to kick you around. And I said to myself, I am not a crook. Because if I was a crook, I'd be far crooked than you could imagine your life. You don't mess with me ever. Okay, so there you have it. Please become a part of this magnificent website so that I can continue to give you content and scoops and impressions, complete with awful voice, busting my ass, getting up, knowing that there's a couple of shekels in the proverbial Rich Lieberman media zone money pit. So I don't have to listen to dirty work on a certain sports radio station in San Francisco. But please go to my PayPal. It's $15 for the year. And then you get all the insides, you get the inside dope, you get all the extra stuff that the mere civilians who come on here and don't admit the fact that they're cheating and that they're watching me for free, because God knows I am an amusement feature that costs moolah. Yeah, $15 a year plus $3. That's $1 a month, 12 plus 3 equals 50. Welcome to Romper Room. Today we're going to add and subtract 15, 12, $1 a year plus $3 equals 15. Hi, I'm Andy Rooney. Do you ever wonder why it's so cheap to join the rich Lieberman media zone? You'll be helping mankind, and most importantly, rich not having to go to 7-Eleven and buy that cheap, shitty coffee. That's right, folks, $15 a year. I put on a show for the most part. Even when my voice is crackling, even when I've got that wheezing, even when I have that relentless mucus, which makes it mandatory that I have to buy that Mucigen or Mucinex, whatever the hell they call it. It's like $15,000 and it's like behind the counter or over the counter, whatever it is, it's expensive. Please, folks, pay the money so that I can have the means to put on a show and also to pay for my bills so that I can give you the show that you come here every day. Well, when I'm not in bed and crackling and sounding like shit, please, I will personally thank you. I will sing to you. I will dance the Macarena. Remember that? The Macarena. Macarena. Hey, Macarena. I'm losing it. I know. I have my meds. Don't worry. Water time. Good to the last drop. Nothing like Alameda County, East Bay mud, tap water. Okay. So, yes, it is Friday. People are leaving the area to go on trips that if they waited a day would have been significantly cheaper. Take that money, put $15 away, and go to the PayPal on my PayPal site here. Donate it to Rich so that I can give you quality programming, and that way I don't have to kind of go do alternative things like some very rather drastic things. So please, why am I whispering right now? I sound like that overnight anchor on KCBS who talks with a mere kind of a quiet voice, and nobody hears her, and she kind of likes to talk like this, but that's another story altogether. Okay. If you help me, I promise to be a good Christian, a good Jewish man, a good Buddhist, Muslim. I will honor and respect all the religions, and I promise you, I will, well, you know what I will do. I will be just so magnificent. I'd be like that correspondent for CBS in Rome. She used to pronounce Rome as Rome. I'm Sylvia Castle Franco, CBS News, Rome. By the way, what do you think of that Pope, huh? Let's go White Sox. All right. So anyway, yeah. Enjoy your holiday. I will be here, hopefully, and give you all the entertainment you yearn and desire. And by the way, I shaved today. How do you like that? Okay. And boy, do I look like a wreck, but what the hell? I'm here. Um, do make a contribution, and I promise you eternal entertainment because I'm just one hell of a guy. A wild and crazy guy. Remember him? Okay. Thank you. Hey, quick impression of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Ready? Quick impression of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Here we go. Don't give me shit about that. You're going to use that. Some of yous are going to steal that and you're going to use it. Okay. So the hell with you. It was funny. And even if it wasn't funny, it was funny. I was loud. Now I'm going to be very quiet and tepid. See you later.